Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. So, what is today on the show here, huh? Well, we're going to do another Jukebox from Hell, that's right. Before we get into it, I want to let you know truthfully that thank you to all the people that watched the previous episode, which was, of course, the 1976 Three Dog Nights American Pastime. We ended up sharing that on Chuck Negrin's official Facebook page, and it actually got a jump in views because of that. Hopefully Chuck got to see it. I'm going to be sharing this particular video with each of the members involved on this particular album, which we're looking at, which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, for your scorecards today, you are looking at episode 16 of Jukebox From Hell, where we go November 1985, and we check out the third album from that supergroup Asia, which is Astra, a wonderful Roger Dean cover. I am a sucker for Roger Dean art on records, that's for sure, no matter how good or goofy it is. This, of course, being a futuristic little piece. This was released in November 1985 on Geffen Records. There's the front, there's the back. This I actually got autographed by Carl Palmer. He came out to a Chicago suburb and did a signing at the Drum Pad. I don't know if it's still there anymore, but that's how I got this. And then I met him again in 2019 here in Northwest Arkansas, and got him to sign a couple other Asia albums. But we're going to be talking about Astra today, that's right. So, my research, of course, from Asia's official website, Wikipedia, AllMusic, all different kinds of fun here. So as we discussed, this is the third album, November 1985. Now, originally this album was supposed to be called Arcadia. Now, I think that's funny because, you know, they were just getting ready to release it as such, and then the side project from Duran Duran was called Arcadia, so they were like, oops, we better not get that confused, so they changed it to Astra. The previous album, Alpha, which was their second one, was released in August 1983. That one went number 6 on the Billboard charts, number 5 in the UK, was platinum here in the US, but Astra here will be the last full-length album with John Wetton until 2008's reunion album, Phoenix. Now, this album was recorded in 1984-85. Wetton was fired in September 83 after making the Alpha album. Greg Lake comes in for a couple months. Basically, the big one being in Asia, which I remember watching that on MTV back in December 83. I think it was December 83 or a lot. Yeah, they did it live, if I remember correctly, back on MTV. But I think they kept re-showing it again into 1984, into the new year. Greg Lake was an interesting replacement, but definitely you could tell there was a difference between him and John Wetton. Not complaining, though, you still get 2/3 of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, if you will, in this band, but it's only lasts for a couple months. That Asia, by the way, being recorded, like I said, in December 83 in Budokan in Japan. Wetton comes back roughly around February 84, but on one condition: Steve Howe must be let go, and that's exactly what happened. Later in the year, Mandy Meyer from Crocus joins. That's a little strange, right? But it ends up putting this record a little bit more of a harder sound. I have to say that, a little more harder sound. But due to distribution transfer issues, which I don't really know all about this exactly, but it didn't go so well in Europe. It charted number 67 in the US, UK was 68. In Japan, though, made it to number 15. The Japanese loved that album, I'll tell you. Go, which was the first single off of this album, which is a great single, only made it to 46 on Billboard, but in the mainstream rock made it to number 7. So that, at least, it was a top 10 hit per se. Wishing, which was the second single and released in the US, didn't chart at all. The other great song on this album, Too Late, They put it out in the US as a promo 12-inch for the radio stations, and for that, it made it to number 30 in radio, if that makes any sense to you. Alright, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. So, as we said here, track 1, Go. What a great song. Yes, this is the Asia I love. Great rocker to start this off. You get into track 2, Voice of America. I always loved this rocker ballad, a love song of radio's past. And God, I miss radio's past. Voice of America, indeed. Originally, this song and another, 2 songs, so that's right, Wishing. So Voice of America and Wishing was originally recorded for a solo album that John Wetton was going to plan. I think there may have been a couple demos done in late '83, if you will, early '84, but he took him to Asia and ended up doing it that way too, which I think was a wise choice. So, not track 3, Hard on Me, another real good rocker here, honestly. Track 4, Wishing. Originally, like I said, written as one of John Wetton's solo tunes. It's a nice wistful rocker here. Like I said, released as a single in US in January '86 and didn't do anything. Track 5, Rock and Roll Dream. Really good song, but think this could have been shortened a bit. I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, maybe edited, and I think it would have been a little tighter. You know, not saying that I'm a head musician or nothing, but it just seems like it slightly drags. It's not bad, it's just slightly drags. Countdown to Zero, track 6. We start off with the Dolby DX noise, and you people that are theater goers, you're going to know that noise because it's going to come right in your head. That's how that song starts. It's just like that. But then I noticed something. It's a rocker with great harmonies, but I started thinking though, where have I heard this melody before? Well, it turns out that a good old 30 years later, roughly, Alice Cooper does a song called Fireball, which is an excellent rocker from Alice. Most of that melody of Countdown to Zero sounds like the backing of Fireball. Now, not all of it, mind you, but I'd say 3/4 of it, and I'm going, what the? And so that was just too weird for me. Of course, both songs, though, have something in common. They talk about the apocalypse. Oh, yes. Still coming, by the way. Wink. Track 7, Love Now Till Eternity. A definite bombastic tune. Harmonies are good, that's for sure. A really nice song. Track 8, Too Late. Really digging this too. I know, only released as a radio promo 12-inch, and it did make it to number 30, but it should have been released as the second single off of this album, and I really think it would have had a little bit better sales, honestly. Track 9, Suspicion. It's an okay song. And then we finish off with track 10, After the War. Bombastic rocker to close out this album. But once again, though, truthfully, I think it could have used a slight edit, maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, and I think it would have ended up being a little more tighter, if you will. So, we get from this. So what happens afterwards? So, there was not a great receiving from this album, okay? In fact, if I remember correctly, by like '87, I was starting to see these in the cutout bins, in the US anyway. Albums and tapes. I don't know why I didn't grab it then. That was another one of those albums that I grabbed from the Best Buy 50 cent bin in the early 90s. I'm glad I grabbed it though. So, not received, like I said, very well by the fans. Geffen pulled a supporting tour, and in 1986, Asia quietly went away. Until August 1990, where the next release you're going to get from them is called Then and Now, which was partial greatest hits and 4 new songs recorded in 1989-90 with John Wetton and the gang. Different guitar players, though, on all 4 tracks. So you have Mandy Meyer does come back in 1989 to record Am I in Love for That Then and Now. So that was his last thing pretty much with Asia. In 1990, you get Steve Lukather to come back, and he's on the hit Days Like These. Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy and 21 Guns. He ends up on the track Summer. David Cassidy, of all people, co-writes one of the 4 new Asia songs back then. Maybe you could win a bar bet off of that. Yes, David Cassidy was friends with John Wetton. That's how you get your David Cassidy Partridge Family to Asia connection. Who would have thunk? All right. So, but that one went to 114 in the USA. Wetton leaves in April 1991. John Payne comes in, and that's another story for a different day, ladies and gentlemen. So let me ask you this. When this came out in 85 to early 86, are you a fan of Asia? Did you buy this album brand new when it came out? Or were you like me and you bought it when it landed in the cutout bins? Truthfully, this album should have done better. And it seemed like to me that there was label politics mixed with distribution problems. Truthfully, it deserved a better showing than what the hell it got. I think Asia's Astra, in my opinion anyway, should have been a top 40 album for Asia. Maybe they would have lasted a little bit longer. What's your favorite Asia song or album? Tell me what you think about this. So I know that you're asking, and I know some of you are like, well, hell, we didn't ask. Too bad. Because here it comes. What's the next episode of Jukebox From Hell? All right. So episode 16, we're going to move forward just a little bit, probably about almost 2 years ahead, to the fall of 1987, if you will. A classic 60s band, my favorite band. Okay, if I can stick my favorite band in Jukebox From Hell, that means I'm an equal opportunity destroyer, and I can go off and explore just about anything, right? So I was happy when these 3, so you have 3/4 original band members. First time that these 3 technically have done a full album since 1968. The last time that these 3 were together on record, 1976. And this episode will actually be shouted out by several people, including one that, rest in peace, he was one of the first ones to suggest my doing this. We are talking the Monkees' Pool It. That's right, from 1987 will be the next episode of Jukebox From Hell. Here we come. I'm walking down the street. Always powered by coffee, each and every time. I'm going to ask you something. I've had some wonderful people trip onto this channel and leave me suggestions for future Jukebox episodes. I would like you to do the same, because there will be, we're starting to wind down the season 2 here. We'll take a small break, and we'll start season 3 of Jukebox From Hell, probably at the back end of the year. Put those suggestions in. Please like and subscribe. I'd like to get to the 1,000 sub mark. That'd be important for me and you. We could have more fun, extra content, all kinds of fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Take care. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Thanks, guys.